Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert Shaw, Director for District 3, and I'm thankful for serving your District Director for the past 15 years. I would like to welcome those of you who are in person and those that are joining us virtually for your district meeting. A gathering like this district drive home the Point Lake Region Electric Cooperative in different and other utilities. We're different because we put our members at the center of everything. And that is something powerful. We continue to enter exciting times in the cooperative history. We have continually implement the new technology, entering new markets, create new ways to provide our members with savings, and add convenience and enhance quality of life for each of our members. It's been an honor to represent District 9 for the past 15 years. As most of you have been aware, I'm unable to run for the district position again because the term limit of our corporate director is 15 years. There was never a day that I took the responsibility of representing the district lightly. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to work and make decisions, and with the directors representing the other districts over the years. And it's my sincere hope that you all feel your voice have been heard and your board has made decisions that have advanced the objectives of the cooperative. I will miss being your director. I will miss the monthly meeting, the robust discussions regarding ever-changing industry, instant learning that required to serve an effective director. Thank you all again for your support through the years. And I wish and hope that the next director of District 9 will cherish all of the rewarding experience and be a director for the great co-op. Lake Region is strong financially right now. LRC received goal of 45% equity last year when demonstrate financial strength of the co-op. We continue to focus on the stability, and I'm pleased to announce that we have raised rates only once in the last 9 years. This is amazing considering the rising costs, so many other things that we rely on. Amazing considering the cost of many other things that we really upon our daily lives. Our technology continues to be adapted, incorporated by Lake Region to ensure the members the most reliable service we can provide. I would like to thank the employees who have made it a priority to engage our members through events such as Coffee with the Co-op. The feedback from these events has been very positive, and we greatly appreciate the members who attended these events. Lake Region Cooperative wouldn't be in business if it weren't for you, our member owners. You are the reason for the existing and your share in our success. We need the meeting chair for the district meeting to preside over the nominating process. I would propose that our attorney, Chad Falstall, will be the meeting chair for the district meeting. Does anyone have any other nomination to act as the chairman of the meeting? Thank you. Your chairman for the meeting will be Chad, unless there is another nomination. If a vote is needed for candidates, the board of directors voting will occur in person by paper ballot. The voting process will only be needed if we have more than 2 nominations, the candidate for the director position. If there are only 1 candidate nominated, no voting required, he or she will be placed on the ballot and elected by acclamation unless there is a petition candidate, and then the nomination candidates and the petition candidate will be placed on the ballot. I'm glad you could join us today for more Lake Region cooperative and participate in our democracy by participating in the nomination process. Before we begin a nomination process, I would like to introduce the rest of the board of directors. Their pictures are on the screen, and we list them below. Kurt Krugler, District 1. Cecil Bud Hansel, District 2. Mike Brazel, District 3. Earl Rydell, District 4. Patrick Myers, District 5. Joyce Valley, who couldn't be here today, District 6. Tom Jennings, and our chair, he's District 7. Sid Wesness, District 8, and Robert Shaw, District 9. Our meeting continues now with nominations. Our meeting chart will guide us through the process. Chad, will you please come forward?
Thank you, Bob. There are two ways that an individual can be placed on the ballot at the annual meeting. The first way is why you are all here today, and that is through the nomination process at this district meeting. The second is through a written petition that can be done after the district meeting. That has to be done within 30 days after today's date. An individual wishing to petition to get on the ballot at the annual meeting needs to get at least 50 original signed signatures from the members of District 9. There are other requirements that are found in our bylaws in Article 4, Section 4.4b. As chairman of this district meeting, I have appointed Greg Larson as the recording secretary. I have also appointed Penny Rydell and Jerry Hansen as tellers in case a vote is needed. The tellers will physically count the ballots that you received when you checked in this morning, and then we will tally those results and give you the results at the end of the meeting. Since there are more than 10 members present here today, I declare that we have a quorum for this District 9 meeting. You also received in the information that you received the qualifications to become a director for District 9 and for the Board of Directors. We would ask that when you make a nomination that you please state and spell your name in addition to the individual that you are nominating. Please state and spell his or her name as well. Are there any questions about the qualifications or the process for the nominations? Any questions? I would declare that the nomination process be open. According to our bylaws, the nomination process has to be open for 2 minutes. There will be a timer on the screen, and this may seem like the longest 2 minutes of your life, but according to our bylaws, we have to let that 2 minutes pass. The nominations will close when that 2 minutes is up. So now we have the nomination process open. The timer is on the screen. Are there any nominations for District 9?
I'm Lyle Olchenbrooks, L-Y-L-E-O-E-L-T-J-E-N-B-R-U-N-S. I nominate Gary Olson.
Thank you, Lyle.
He had a previous engagement in Rochester, so he couldn't be here, but I'll still nominate him.
Thank you. Anyone else have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? If there are no nominations or no other nominations, is there a motion that the nominations for District 9 be closed? I would ask that someone make that motion, and please state and spell your name when you do that. I get to pick on you if no one volunteers. Yes, sir. Thank you. Is there a second? Can you please state your name? All right, thank you, Craig. It's been moved and seconded that nominations for District 9 be closed. Those in favor signify by saying yes. Those opposed signify by saying no. The motion carries. Since there's only one candidate that's been nominated, like Bob said, we do not have to have a vote today. The bylaws state that if there is only one candidate, that individual gets elected by acclamation, which means that there would be no vote at the annual meeting. The only way that there would be a vote at the annual meeting for District 9 is if someone did the petition process in the next 30 days and got the required signatures. Then the two individuals would be placed on the ballot and there would be an election. Now I would like to invite our CEO, Tim Thompson, to share some words with you all. Tim?
Chad, am I on? Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning, and also thank you to the 25 members who are joining us online this morning. It's wonderful to have in-person and online option for our members. These district meetings are such an important part of your cooperative. It allows members to get together at this grassroots level, being involved in the nomination process for board of directors, opportunity to visit with your directors and several employees who are here today. So thank you for being here. For me, the thing that I love most about our district meetings that we have is just to be in a room with some awesome people. The people that we have the privilege of serving every day, and it's just a privilege to serve you. In my presentation this morning, I'd like to touch on several things, some of the new things that we are doing that are really good for our membership, how we're trying to increase member engagement, things we're doing to keep your electric rates stable, a lot of good news right there, several things that we're doing to improve your reliability, and also share the 2021 financial performance of your cooperative, another really strong year for us financially. Let's talk about member engagement. Bob mentioned these in his presentation. We're really trying to increase member engagement. We want to be that cooperative that has a high level of member engagement. So we've rolled out a couple new programs this past year. One is Coffee with the Co-op, and the other one is Brews in Your Views. And we'll set up meetings in popular cafes and restaurants, and invite members to come in and just have a conversation with us. In the morning meetings, with the coffee meetings, provide coffee and rolls for members, come in and talk to us. The Brews and Views, we'll provide hors d'oeuvres, just come in. We put those in our newsletter. This next year, we're going to do them again. Hopefully you can join us if we have one in this area. The theme for this first round of 10 meetings we had across our system last year was reliability. We actually selected some sites to have these meetings where we felt our reliability was not as good as we want it to be. We wanted to talk to members about that in those areas because we're doing a lot of things to improve that, and we want to share some of those things that we're doing to improve reliability in those areas. We also started a new virtual member advisory committee. Same concept as a traditional member advisory committee, only it's online. We're using Facebook, so members from across the system can, instead of having to go to a meeting on a certain night at a certain place and time, we can communicate with our members virtually, ask them questions on a variety of topics and get feedback. We can put short video clips out there on a variety of topics and get feedback. This is brand new to us. We're kind of learning as we go, but we feel it's very valuable. It's just one more piece of information from members, the feedback that'll help inform our strategic planning as we go forward. Last fall, we again did our annual member satisfaction survey. Wow, great. We had 2,783 members participate in that satisfaction survey. The overall satisfaction score that we received was 8.9 out of a scale of 10. So about like 88% of our members gave us either an 8, a 9, or a 10 on that survey. The green line there shows kind of the gradual steady eddy increase there in member satisfaction. We were at an 8.6 back here, and it's now up at 8.9. We so much appreciate members giving us feedback. The best part about this survey is the actual comments that members give us. Several of those comments are just positive comments, particularly positive comments about our employees who serve you so well day in and out, 24/7. We so much appreciate our employees, and when the members give us that kind of feedback. We get questions and comments about our rates, and I want to talk about that a little bit today, particularly in the context of this rate stability that we find ourselves in right now. And then also we get comments about reliability. I like to say reliability is king. We are doing a lot of things right now to make sure that our members have a high level of reliability. So let's start with our rates. What this chart shows is Lake Region is there in the green bar. This is a peer group of ours of 14 co-ops across the state that we compare our rates to. This member said, thank you for having some of the lowest rates in Minnesota. When we look just at electric cooperatives who serve the rural areas, we look pretty favorably. In this comparison, we are the second lowest. So what you and I, as members of Lake Region, pay every month for, say, 1,000 kilowatt hours compared to these other co-ops, we are the second lowest. We also get this comment back in our surveys. Our rates are too high compared to town residents. The fundamental reason why typically electricity will be a little more expensive or more costly to provide in the rural areas is because there's so few customers there spread out across such a large area compared to the utilities who just serve towns. Hopefully these pictures kind of tell that story for us. This is obviously a very scenic, nice, beautiful rural area. And when you drive down that blacktop, what do you see? You see a lot of poles, a lot of wire, a lot of electrical infrastructure to serve a few houses along the way. This picture, of course, more of an in-town setting. You see one pole there, and you see at least 3 homes or buildings that are very close in proximity to one another. This is just much more economical to serve than a rural area. I like to use these two props to really make the point. Imagine, if you will, with me, that this is a full 1 mile of power line for Lake Region here at our co-op, and we have 5,800 miles of power line. For Lake Region, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 customers along each mile of line. And so you think about in the co-op model, that cost of all that infrastructure every mile, we only have 5 customers to collect those costs from. And if we compare that then to, say, XL Energy, who serves towns and large cities, their 1 mile of power line looks like this. There's actually 46 customers per mile of line, and they spread those costs over 46 customers where we only have 5. Now, their mile of line is going to be a heavier cable and those types of things because of the number of customers, but the economics are in their favor because of the number of customers per mile of line. So at Lake Region, we only have 5. It's actually 4.7, but it's 5 customers per mile. XL, they've got 46 customers per mile of line. So in our rate structure right now, we have a $24 a month facility charge. XL is only $8, and that is really the primary difference between an urban and a rural area in the rate structure. So you may be wondering, well, how does our $24 a month that we pay as members of Lake Region compare to other utilities across the state? You can see the green bar there again. That's Lake Region at $24 a month. The utilities over here, Minnesota Power, XL Energy, Ottawa Power, the larger investor-owned utilities, as well as some municipals, like in our area, Henning, who just serves the town, Barnesville just serves the town. They're going to be a little lower than us. We're at the 24, and then the ones that are higher than us per month are the other electric cooperatives in the state. So what is this monthly facility charge anyway? We talk a lot about it. The monthly facility charge, that $24 that we pay, is designed to cover the costs of the infrastructure needed to turn a light bulb on in our homes. So what is all the infrastructure needed so when we go home from this meeting or get home later today and we flip that switch so that light bulb can come on? Let's start over here at the substation level. A substation today is about $1 million, and we have 30 substations across our large footprint. Of course, here's the poles and wires that it takes to distribute that power out to our areas where we live. Today, a single-phase line costs about $51,000 per mile. A three-phase would be about $79,000 per mile. It takes a lot of operations and maintenance. We've got some linemen in the room today. I'm so glad you guys could join us. They do a great job of keeping the power lines out there working for us. But just one bucket truck today, $200,000. Of course, we need a transformer near your house or business. An overhead one is about $900 installed. And then, of course, a meter. At the metering point, a meter today installed is a couple $100. So if you think about all that cost for this infrastructure, and you think about what we pay per month for our facility charge, $24, 80 cents a day, it's pretty clear that that amount doesn't pay for all of this infrastructure. So your board of directors is having this discussion. We find ourselves right now in this wonderful position. Rate stability. There's really no need right now to collect any more dollars from the members because the co-op's doing wonderful. And we'll talk about that and the financial strength of the cooperative. The co-op's doing really well. So maybe now is the time to make some rate structure adjustments. We don't need to collect any more revenue. We wouldn't, be a revenue neutral rate structure adjustment where we'd take that $24, for example, increase it some, and at the same time, lower the energy cost, the actual kilowatt hour charge for the electricity. So if we up the facility charge, lower the energy charge, that would be done on a revenue neutral basis. So, how would that affect us as members? How does it affect our monthly bill? If you're kind of an average user, if we could say that, your usage is kind of like average, you're a year-round user for your household type of a customer, which most members are. If we increase the fixed charge and lower the variable charge on a revenue-neutral basis, your bottom line for your bill really won't change. Now, if you're a small user, don't use as much electricity, maybe a seasonal cabin type of a customer, and you increase the fixed charge, the 24, lower the energy charge, you're probably going to see a little bit of an increase. Now, if you're a larger user and we increase the fixed charge, lower the energy charge, you're probably going to see a little less total bill on average. Hopefully that makes sense. We want to just mention this as we go around the territory this year for the district meetings. This is something the board of directors is going to be studying more in the future. We're going to be doing a cost of service study later this year to analyze all these costs and see what that facility charge really should be to more accurately collect on a fair and equitable basis across the membership all those costs for that infrastructure. So hopefully that just really want to give you a heads up. We're going to be talking a lot more about this future months in our newsletter. Please stay tuned. I would love your feedback on it. All right, I mentioned the rate stability a few times already. Good news. Here's our rate forecast. We all know what forecasts are. They're usually wrong, right? But all the data we're looking at, all the information we have, as we look to the future, certainly very short term, no need for any new revenue this year. Hopefully we can continue to, like Bob said, we've had one rate increase now in 9 years. We're very focused on that. We want to keep your rates stable as long as we can. Same with our off-peak heating programs, like our dual fuel program. If you're on our dual fuel program and heat your home with electricity, that rate today is the same as it was in 2008. There's been no changes over that long period of time. Very dialed in on keeping our members' rates stable. There's a couple big reasons why we've been able to keep our electric rates stable for the membership. One has to do with new revenue streams that we have created. So proud to be part of a cooperative who is constantly looking to the future for our members and for the co-op. trying to come up with new ways to create revenue streams for the cooperative. This is a really good example of that. Our standby generator program. This is a premium service for those members who really need that peace of mind. If a power outage happens tonight because of a storm or whatever and the power goes out, you've got your own standby generator to power your business or your home through that power outage until that power comes back on. Every time we install one of these, it creates a revenue stream for the co-op. That's good for all of our electric ratepayers, all of our members. That new revenue stream helps us offset some of our fixed costs. It's been a very popular program. This past year alone, we installed 90 standby generators for our members. Since we started the program in 2017, we've now installed 380 generators. I just love this comment. I think it speaks volumes about our employees. The whole experience with Lake Region from start to finish was excellent. Another good example of a new revenue stream for Lake Region Electric Cooperative is our new wholly owned subsidiary, our gas company, Lake Region Energy Services. Wow, to be standing in Parkers Prairie right now talking about this new business is just awesome. This is really where, in this community, this is where this new business really got its start. If any of you in the room have any comments today about how your experience has been with us on the gas company, I'd love to hear that, maybe in the discussion session later. But bringing a new piece of infrastructure, bringing new natural gas service to areas that have never had it before is an incredibly motivating experience for us, because we are helping improve the quality of life in those communities and for the people that we are now serving with natural gas, because we're helping people save money. An average household who switches, say, from propane to natural gas, we can save that family maybe $300 to $500 a heating season. That's really great. And really proud to say now we have over 1,000 natural gas customers. When we started this in 2017, we had 0. It's been a really good program for us. And again, this is creating rate benefits for all of us, helping keep our rates stable. We might elaborate just a little bit because we are in Parkers Prairie, but these are some of the entities, the families that now have our natural gas service. And just want to touch on those. So the Parkers Prairie School is a natural gas customer of ours. So think about that, their budget. If we can help them in their school budget save costs on their heating, their building, that money that's freed up to be redirected into the kids' education, that's improving quality of life. The Dent community, the community center there, again, helping them lower the cost of heating that building, making that community center more sustainable long term. Churches, helping churches save heating their buildings in their budgets. And then a real special one to us is the farm families that we have worked with for grain drying, turkey heating of turkey barns, dairy barns, those types of things. Really a special part of this. Again, we'll never equal what happened back in the 1930s and 40s by bringing electricity to the countryside. But for us right now, this is pretty special. And thanks to people in this community who are part of getting this business started. You may know as well that we are now an owner of Carr's Tree Service. We cut a tremendous amount of trees every year. So why pay a contractor to do that for us when we had an opportunity to be an owner of a tree service? So now that we're an owner of Carr's Tree Service, we share in the financial success of Carr's Tree Service. So each year we get some dollars to come back to us as one of the owners of Carr's Tree Service. Every time we can bring $1 into this organization that doesn't come out of the pocketbooks of us as members for electric rates, that's a win for us as members in terms of keeping our rates stable. We've also done a lot of things with renewable energy at the local level. This is a picture of our wind-solar hybrid. It's a 2 megawatt GE turbine, General Electric, coupled with a 0.5 megawatt of solar. It's working well for us, helping us save some dollars. It's a local production of renewable and consumed directly by our members. You can see the positive quote there from one of our members. I'm going to play a short video. We've had this video for a couple years. I apologize if you've seen it, but it's because this is such a unique project, GE came up and did a video on it, and we like to show it.
I've always felt that electricity is the lifeblood of our society. Nothing works without electricity.
We worked with the Lake Region Electric Co-op in rural Minnesota to design the hybrid electric solar and wind solution. This gave this very rural community a low-cost renewable energy solution.
This is the first true solar wind hybrid of its kind where we've utilized this technology that we developed with GE.
Hybrid renewables are scalable from cities and towns to small rural communities.
They're very complementary on how they work together. We can harness both the wind and the sun in one project and bring more renewable electricity to our members. With this renewable technology, there's no fuel, no emissions, no waste, no water, and it's by far and away cheaper energy. It not only allows us to bring in the renewable energy for our members, but it also actually saves us money on our overall power costs. So it's more renewables, less cost for our members, and that's what they're asking for.
We absolutely need a greener, cleaner system. Hybrid renewables are our first step in the path to reaching 100% renewable energy.
And one of the really great things about this project, so we don't own it, we don't maintain it, we don't operate it. Juul Energy owns it. We simply buy the electricity that comes out of it. And because it's a local project, it doesn't require any new transmission, any new overhead costs, things like that. It directly plugs back into and interconnects back into the local electrical grid that you as Lake Region member owners already own. We think it's a very low risk, high return type of a project for us. All part of our rate stability program. So these four things I just mentioned, the wind solar, the gas, cars tree service, and the standby generator program. If you look at all those four things in aggregate, that creates about $750,000 a year of positive rate benefits for members, really helps strengthen our financials. It really makes a difference over time because these aren't one-year deals and done. They're cumulative, recurring type of value for the members. The second big reason why we've been able to keep our rates stable is because our wholesale power supplier, Great River Energy, who is also a cooperative, they are enjoying a period of stable rates. And when they can keep the wholesale costs, our input costs stable, we can do a really good job of keeping our retail rates at the local level stable. As we all know, our industry, our energy industry is going through a lot of transition. That's certainly the case at Great River Energy right now as they are evolving their generation portfolio. Right now, Great River Energy is in the process of selling Coal Creek Station, a coal-fired power plant in North Dakota, to Rainbow Energy. And Great River Energy is entering into a 10-year contract to buy the output, some of the output of that from Rainbow over the next 10 years. As we look forward, more and more of our energy, our electricity, is going to come from wind sources, solar sources. Battery storage is evolving. Technology is changing a lot there. Natural gas as well. And all that'll have lower emissions. So a lot of transition going on in our industry. One of the things, as we talk about change and as we talk about transitions, that's incredibly important, I'll say it again, reliability is king. And your board of directors is really focused on reliability. Just with Great River Energy, for example, I like to show these pictures. These are the natural gas-fired power plants that GRE owns in Minnesota, Pleasant Valley, Elk River, Cambridge, Lakefield Junction. 3 of these 4 units, with the exception of Cambridge, is dual fuel, so it's natural gas with a second source of fuel for backup. Again, a form of redundancy in case there was an issue with the natural gas supply. Cambridge, they've got a plan to also retrofit that, so it's dual fuel. Just a lot of things being done for reliability and redundancy. David Segu, the CEO of Great River Energy there, his quote, he says, "We have a fleet of modern natural gas plants in Minnesota that really gives us those all-hours reliability that our members, like Lake Region, need." Reliability at the local level, obviously super important too. Got a lot of things I want to share with you that I believe is really good news for us as members. Appreciate the comment from a member here at the top. Continue keeping outages to a minimum. This has already improved in the last 10 years, and certainly that's what the data shows in the last 10 years. Our outage trend really came down here, and now we've kind of leveled off. We try to keep the average hours of outage time per member at 2 or below each year, and we've made that most of these years. In the last 10 years or so, continue to make a lot of system improvements, reinvesting back in the grid. I want to talk about some of those. Tree clearing, of course, is really important to keep up with that. I want to draw your attention to our final numbers for 2021. If you just looked at the 2.2 hours per member for last year for outage time, to me it's a little high. I want it to be lower than that. If we drill into the numbers, about 36% of that 2.2 or 0.8 of the 2.2 is for what we call planned outages. Last year we had a very high level of planned outages because of the major projects and upgrades we were doing. For like example, substation upgrades, there's points in that process where it's simply just better and safer to take the substation out of power, do the work, and then turn it back on. And we had several of those last year. So that's why we had so many planned outages. When we do that, we notify members affected in advance, the date and time for that, so you can be ready for that and prepare for that. But the good news is, because of the number we had in 2021 and those projects are now completed, hopefully that going forward means we're going to see more reliability and less outages for you. We spent about $1.5 million last year clearing trees. We trimmed or removed about 16,000 trees last year alone. Continue to do pole inspections, and if those poles don't pass the test, we get out there and change them out. 452 poles replaced last year. Really excited about this new program. It's part of our distribution grid improvement program, where we're trying to utilize technology, innovation, employee engagement to come up with new ways to better serve you and provide you with better reliability. This is an outline of our entire service territory here. That's about 3,200 square miles with 5,800 miles of power line. With our data, we pinpointed these 10 places on our grid where we felt our reliability was the weakest, where members were having the most outages. We took that data, we gave it to our linemen, and we said, here's our worst 10 places. Would you go out and get your eyes on these situations? Use your knowledge, skill, ability, your just ability to think differently about how we might be able to make improvements in those areas. They came back with a lot of good ideas, ran them through the engineering team, and now we're in a process of going back to those 10 areas and in making those improvements. We're not done with those 10 areas yet. It takes a little bit of time, but these greenish areas, they're completed. These reddish, pinkish areas, we still have to get to those, but by attacking our worst performing circuits in those areas, we think this will really help us long term to, again, improve your reliability. There's 2,240 members who live and are served in those 10 areas, so we can attack those worst areas like we are very aggressively. We should see some better numbers going forward. I'm super excited about this. This is our X-Acto technology program. This is, again, another brand new thing for us. Kind of a two-step process. Number one, the first step is this really smart box right here, this yellow box. In a vehicle at normal speed limits, you drive the road along the power line, and as you pass by that power line, that box is sensing that power line, gathering data. And after those 4 passes, it will give us a report that says, here's the areas and spots, positions along that line where you might have a problem. So we get that information, and then we go to the second step. We go to those places, those locations, and we use this type of a device to point it up and scan across the hardware up there at the top of that pole. And if it senses something that's wrong, it'll make a sound, and you know you found the problem. So for example, there might be a hairline crack that you can't see with the naked eye on that insulator up there. This will pick it up. So the whole idea of this is to prevent outages before they occur. Again, driving your reliability higher. It's also got some wonderful safety benefits. If we can identify these problems before it causes an outage, and our linemen can go out and fix this type of situation, instead on a nice day like this, instead of in a storm or at night. Much safer for our linemen. Here's just some of the things we're finding: transformer, regulator, insulator, and again, proactiveness, getting out there and getting those things changed out before it causes a major problem for yourself. Can you imagine going up in that situation at night, like our linemen might have to do from time to time, and trying to fix that? Much safer. And that's what we're all about. Okay, want to share with you some very large projects that have been done on our transmission system. About 5 years ago, we were not satisfied with the level of service our members were getting from the transmission service, which is the higher level service, like I said, that with the larger structures, the larger substations and poles. That transmission system then feeds down to our distribution system, where we take it and deliver it to your home. So we're talking about transmission-related projects. Our transmission providers, Great River Energy and Ottawa Power, we had meetings with them. We expressed our dissatisfaction with the level of service we were receiving. Led to some meetings, and we put together a comprehensive plan across our system that led to these projects I'm going to describe. Most of them are now completed. It takes quite a while to go from we need to do something here to actually getting it done. So over the last 5 years, we've worked hard. Here's the first one, the Lake Shuster project. This is a $6.8 million project, brand new transmission level substation near Perham. This substation will increase the reliability of 4 Lake Region substations, the Frazee, the Dora, the Dent, and the Perham distribution substations that we own that serve over 5,000 Lake Region members. Take a look at this. Before this new substation was built, those 4 Lake Region substations were experiencing, on average, 6.5 outages per year. Since this new substation came online in the fall of 2019, we haven't had a transmission-related outage. If you run all those numbers for those 5,000 customers, that's eliminated about 65,000 outages that would have been there if we hadn't made this upgrade. Another big project is our Lake Eunice substation. This is a substation that Lake Region owns. This was about a $3 million project, located near Lake Eunice, of course, and Pelican Lake. This project was just completed this past fall in October. Here's the old and new pictures. This is the old substation, our old Lake Eunice substation. This was the old transmission line that fed this substation. Here's a picture of the new Lake Eunice substation and part of the new transmission structure that feeds this substation. Again, just a wonderful project, and this is going to improve the reliability for the 2,000 members of Lake Region that are served off of that Lake Eunice substation. Here's a better picture of it, a bigger picture. You can see the new substation here, the new transmission line that comes in to feed that substation. Really a modern substation out in our rural area. It's going to serve the members of Lake Region very well for the coming decades. Yet another very large project was the GRE Frazee transmission substation upgrade. Question?
When you put the new substations up, what happens to the old substations? Do they get decommissioned?
Great question. So if I go back to this picture, these are kind of side by side. They're close. So right now, here's the new one, of course. This is being, disassembled. Some of that equipment can be used elsewhere on our system. The idea we're kicking around right now, because we got a little bit of land and space there and fencing and everything, is maybe it's a spot to do a small amount of solar energy in that spot that's there, really not doing anything for us now. So try to use some of that equipment elsewhere. For example, the old transformer that was in the Lake Eunice substation is now used in another substation. Thanks for that question. Here's the large Frazee substation, $10.2 million project. This was also completed last year. There's also plans for a new transmission line to come into this substation in 2023. By having this new substation upgraded, the results will be better reliability for over 50%, over half of the Lake Region Electric distribution substations. Again, just some The old pictures and now the new picture, now that that substation has gone through a major upgrade. One more here, a $1.2 million project to Great River Energy's Henning substation that feeds both our Henning substation and Stalker Lake sub. 2,400 members are served off that sub. So 2,400 members of Lake Region should see better service as a result of this upgrade to this enhanced, improved substation. One more here. This is all Lake Region project. We upgraded our 10-mile lake substation a few years ago. From that substation, we also built out 13 miles of new underground cable at about a cost of about $850,000. Here's a summary slide of these 5 projects I just described. Again, our entire service territory. Those red dots are the 5 projects I just described across our big footprint. The lightly green shaded areas, those are the areas, the members in those areas should see improved reliability going forward. That's over 18,000 members. 65% of our entire membership should see improved reliability because of these. $22 million has been reinvested back in our local infrastructure in the last few years. We don't know of a time where we've spent that much back into our system for these types of upgrades, and hopefully as we go forward, as members, you will see the benefits of these types of upgrades. Well, how did we do financially for 2021? A very solid year again for Lake Region. Now that we have our natural gas company, this is a consolidated financial statement, meaning it's both Lake Region Electric Cooperative, like it always has been, and it's also Lake Region Energy Services, the new natural gas company. It's combined, consolidated. So top line there, total operating revenue, $55 million. The controllable expenses, we work really hard to control our costs. We absolutely want to be good stewards of your dollars. So we get good revenue, good cost control, produces a very solid margin there at the bottom line, about $5.6 million for the year. Having another good year like that continues to drive up the equity of your cooperative. We've now got $66 million of equity on the balance sheet. You can just see the tremendous transformation of our financials and balance sheet since 2005. $43 million in equity added since 2005. With this position, your board of directors, again last year, made the decision to retire capital credits back to the members, paid out over $1.8 million last year. We're now down to a 17-year capital credit rotation. If you've been coming to these meetings for a while, you may remember we were in the high 20s. 28, 29-year rotation. That's down to 17, which is wonderful. That now comes in 3 parts. The Lake Region piece, of course, is the large piece, $1.2 million last year. The Great River Energy component, now that they are retiring capital credits to us, they're paying us. We're flowing that back through to you, the members, as well. The last one on here, CFC, that might be kind of a new term for you. CFC is a national bank that is owned 100% by America's electric cooperatives, and we're one of those. From time to time, we'll borrow money from them for financing of infrastructure, and so they're a cooperative form of ownership as well. So they have capital credits back to us, and we're flowing some of that back to the members as well. So a total of $1.8 million. That's now 9 consecutive years of record capital credit retirement amounts, that $1.8 million. Now paid out over $33 million back to the membership since 1958. Transitioning here to the people side of our business and how important that is, improving the quality of life. That's really what an electric cooperative is all about. That's why it was started, right back in the 1930s. That spirit is alive in your co-op today. Our Operation Roundup program, which is so special, members can round up their power bill each month to the next dollar. So on average, 50 cents a month goes into the Operation Roundup Fund. A group of volunteers from the Lake Region membership is on the board of directors of the Operation Roundup Fund, and they decide where those dollars go to in our communities. Here's one last year, $2,000 to the Parker's Prairie Ambulance Fund. How awesome is that? Contribution to the East Otter Tail 4-H Club, and also another contribution there is just an example of the Otter Tail Youth Ski League. Pretty special stuff. We paid out about $92,000 last year. Boy, we're approaching the $500,000 over the long haul of giving those dollars back into the community. Just a wonderful program. Thank you for your generosity if you're participating in that program. Also wanted to share with you a short video that we have. About a year ago, this member of Lake Region, Leo Dahl, wrote us a letter telling the story about what it was like when Lake Region Electric Cooperative brought electricity to their family farm back in the day. We were fortunate enough to go out and visit with Leo last summer, and we produced Candace over here. She produced a little video for us, and we wanted to share that with you at this time. It's a very inspiring letter that he wrote.
If you wouldn't mind just trying to share that story of 1947 and 1948 time frame when you got electricity.
I farmed with my dad, and he had we had moved in a small house, and I lived there when electricity came, 1948. And I'll never forget, we had the houses and buildings pre-wired for it, and when the day came in 1948, we were thrashing, and they just couldn't get over the big yard light. At that time, it just, you turn them off or on the way you needed them. And it just went leaps and bounds from there, the change of life, everything changed. We could come in the house at night and see the floor. We had lights, but they didn't have anything like electric lights. And
then this old army truck came the next spring to set the poles up. Just pretty amazing process back in the day, digging holes by hand.
Well, yeah, they give us the tools or whatever, they borrowed them, the spoon shovel or spoon hook. They had to be 6 feet deep, and we'd dig them.
Wow.
And then in the wintertime, in the fall, they delivered the poles. They just laid on the ground wherever there was a hole. And then in the spring, that old army truck come with a boom on it, and he lifted up the poles and set them in there. And at that time, the workers, they didn't have these trucks and hoists on everything. They had to climb the poles.
Yeah.
They had those wooden prongs on the shoes, and they climb the poles and fix it up, tie up the wires, and it was amazing to us. We kept watching them all summer, putting it together. And then in August, we got the current, and that changed everything. Everything changed for the better. It was really something good. We were able to get a small radio, and that was really something. And then we put one in the barn that had music in the barn.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a history to it. Few farmers had these 32-volt deals to make electricity, and neighbors were always kind of anxious at that. And when they found out that they could get electricity, they just signed up like nobody's business.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
If I remember right, the going bill a month was $3.50.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what is it now, 27 or?
Yeah, the basic charge, facility charge is $24. Yeah.
So, but it's a big improvement. Good workers, good upkeep. I really appreciate it.
A $5 membership fee or anything like that? Do you recall?
Don't remember that. I know Dad was one of the workers that went around the country and got the people to sign up for electricity, and it bloomed from there on.
kind of what you were saying. I keep your letter right there because for me, we have to stay focused on you, the members of the co-op,
Yes.
and so in a little letter, it's got the history, it's got the gratefulness, it's got all the things we talked about, and that's just a good reminder for me every day. When I come to work, I sit down and that's what I see.
Really?
And that keeps me focused on the most important thing, which is you, the member.
There you go.
So, thank you.
Appreciation of saying thank you. Thank you goes a long way.
Yeah.
It really does. And we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, it was great to get to know Leo a little bit and his family. Unfortunately, Leo passed away late last summer. And wow, does the world need more Leos? Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful human being. Yeah, kind of wrapping up my presentation here. I always like to say that if there's ever a moment where you as member owners of this organization don't feel like we're committed to serving you, please let us know. We want to talk to you. We want to solve whatever it is we need to solve for you. One of the great things about these district meetings is we have hopefully an opportunity here just to kind of open it up for any discussion, any questions. We'd love to have any questions that you have. Maybe while you're thinking about your question, I would just want to mention one other thing, maybe two. We did three of these district meetings this year. This is our final one. Our employees, wow, they do a fantastic job. You know, we've got the technology now. We had employees in here at 7:30 this morning crawling on their knees, stringing wires and putting tape to keep it safe in here for us. And anyway, this is our third. The technology worked great in all three of them. And just hats off to our whole employee team. They do just a great job. And then just the picture of all of us here. This is our board of directors and all the employees at Lake Region. And yeah, our mission is to serve you, and I hope you feel we do a good job of that. If there's some questions, that would be great. I know I can't answer them, but somebody can. Just kidding. Love a question or comment, anything on your mind. We're here to serve you. I got to go back to the gas business. It started in this community, and you know, when you hear Leo's story, it's not that maybe that magnitude, but it started in a cafe here in town. We've invited some folks in to see if they would have interest in natural gas, and from that it really sparked things, and it took off from there. So very, very, very positive. Thank you. I'm trying to drag this out. Any questions? Okay. I'm not as long as Chad's 2 minutes, but yes, sir.
Is there an anticipated revenue increase with this electric car mandate coming up?
Oh, great question. Let's talk about electric vehicles a little bit, shall we? So one of the main things for electric vehicles from an electric utility standpoint is as they become more available and all of that, and maybe in this northern climate it's going to be a little slower than other parts of the country, but as that progresses, we want to make sure that we're prepared for that. Some of the things that we're doing right now, for example, is we've got a couple of rate options for somebody who has an electric vehicle. Anybody know roughly how many customers we have on an electric vehicle rate right now? It's a small number. 15, okay. So the goal here is to charge those at night when the demand for electricity is generally much lower. And so we've got a rate for folks who have electric vehicles. They're on an off-peak rate, if I could say it that way. And so we really want to get those folks on that off-peak rate, charge them at night when we're sleeping, when the demands are low. If there's just massive electric vehicles, across the board, there's going to need to be upgrades, transformer upgrades. Like if I put one in, maybe I would need a new transformer. If a distribution line in my neighborhood got populated with them to the point it could lead to some needs for some distribution line upgrades. We're really trying to think ahead on this topic. What can we do? Even can we pair up some distributed generation? Maybe it's battery storage. Maybe it's small distributed generation to be in the mix, to balance supply and demand at a very local level. All that's kind of in the strategic planning hopper right now. So is electric rates gonna anytime soon increase our rates? I think we see it in the beginning here in the short run is an opportunity as they come on. It's gonna grow our cooperative. We're gonna sell hopefully more electricity at the right time of day, and that should be a positive for us. But yeah, I think that's a scenario that's maybe down the road a long ways. If there was enough of them, it could cause a potential issue. Al Fazo here is he's our chief engineer. Al, you want to add anything to that, please?
I think you covered it well, Tim. We're looking at this. They're coming. Like Tim mentioned, we're going to see them here in greater numbers over time. I think you're going to see, if you even look at California, Arizona, places like that, they're a lot more prevalent today. But over time, they're going to keep growing. They're going to become popular. It will be something we'll deal with.
Yeah, we've had one electric vehicle at Lake Region. We did a 3-year lease, and that 3-year lease is now up, and we've brought it back. We're in the process this year. We've budgeted for one more. This one's going to be an everyday kind of fleet style type vehicle. We want to use it every day in our normal business, and evaluate that performance and degradation because of the cold and all of that. So we're all learning together, and appreciated your comment. Spot on electric vehicles. It's coming someday. Yeah.
Where is all this electricity coming from then, if there's going to be such a demand for electric vehicles?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, yeah, great question. We like the all of the above strategy, where it's not coming from just one or two places. It's come from a variety of kind of diversified portfolio of generation on the generation side. As I mentioned just a little bit earlier, the coal is going to be, for us, probably winding down over time. Certainly more renewable energies, sources are coming online, a lot of wind, probably more solar. We are looking at trying to do more local projects, something like the wind solar project. We're working closely with GRE to give us more flexibility in our power contracts so we can do more local projects. We like the idea of having some generation close to the customer, generation close to the load. It just appears right now the general path is more, less coal, more renewables, more natural gas type of plants.
I was reading where a lot of these renewable things, there's no recycling any of the components. These wind turbines, nothing to recycle. It's all got to go get buried.
Yeah.
And then the mountains and the concrete pads, everything's disposable. Nothing to recycle.
Yeah. Wind turbines, batteries, all those things, the technology's got to develop to the point where we can recycle that. And I mean, that's the overall goal. It's just, I don't think it's quite there yet, but that's I think it's where it's going to eventually head. A lot of research being done on the battery technology. Great River Energy, they're very involved in a company called Form Energy, and if what they're looking at pans out, it's going to, I think, be a potential game changer for battery storage, because it's using components that are not the rare earth metals and more common type things we can find even here in maybe even Minnesota. And it's not short-term storage, it's long-term. It can discharge for days instead of just, what most of the battery storage is more like an hours. We really need that long battery duration to carry us through something like last year in our country. Thank God it didn't affect us at Lake Region, but the polar vortex and what we saw in Texas, we need that long battery storage. We are doing some things with battery storage. Here just in a few weeks, we're going to take delivery of our first residential scale battery storage unit, and we're going to be getting that into the home of a member of Lake Region, learning a lot about that. The cool thing about that project is it's going to give the member some reliability. If there is a power outage, they can use that battery, and then we can work with the customer to discharge that battery when it makes most economic sense, because it's no longer just how much electricity you use, it's when you use it. because of the the ups and downs of the markets and things. So we want to learn how to do that and maximize that for our members. I thought I saw another hand. There you go.
On natural gas, our farm and a couple other farms, we had to shut them off at different times, and I know our school did too. And if you guys keep adding to the end of the line, what's going to happen?
Yeah, good question. So that was, a couple years ago in that grain harvest season. We had the really cold temperatures, late October, early November. And so the customers who are on our interruptible gas rate, we did need to call upon those to interrupt through that process. We tried the best we could to work with all the customers who are on that interruptible rate and set up a rotation, particularly for the grain drying. So of the number of customers who are on that interruptible rate, we just rotated some people on and off through that to get through that. So what you're getting at is really a pipe capacity issue. And when we built the gas system here, looking back, maybe it could be bigger, right? But again, it's an economic decision of how much can you get so much more expensive the bigger you go. We have extended some to the south to Lake Miltona. So that's something that's going to have to be studied very closely before it would go any further. I don't know, Dylan, Steve, anybody else have any further thoughts to help on that question? I hope I did it reasonable.
I think you covered it really well, Tim. We won't add any other large loads to that line because of how tapped out it is. Smaller residential customers really aren't going to be a huge impact. Where we really see it is you get our residential on at the same time as if I have grain dryers that are on that line, it just sucks the dry right away. So definitely no more big load on that line for us. We'd have to add a second line if we want to add another big load going down south. And really at this point in time, all the growth that we'd be looking at on the south side of our line, very small residential, won't have any huge impact.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. I knew I'd get some. Yeah, anybody else? I thought I saw another hand back here. Okay, well.
Look at, when you add all these electric cars potentially in the future, is that going to possibly change some of your off-peak programs? Will it be longer hours or different time periods than currently?
Yeah, it's possible. It's hard to say exactly how that will work out. We've got an incredible off-peak program at Lake Region. It's been built over the last several decades. We've got great communications and technology in our metering system to take advantage of those off-peak times. I don't know if it's hard to say at this point exactly how that will impact rates, but I think we'll do a good job of the planning, and if the point is, if I added at my house, if I added an electric vehicle, would I, kind of jeopardize the other electric heating programs? We certainly got to figure that out, and so that doesn't happen, because selling that electricity, improving our load factor, and if we could have a flat load factor where we're selling power 20, very evenly across the nighttime like we more in the daytime, that's there's an opportunity there to use that electricity in the nighttime still. A lot of this wind energy that's coming on does produce a lot of energy at night when we're not using as much electricity as we are during the day. We've learned a lot from our wind solar hybrid project in terms of the production of local wind and solar. So yeah, great question. I don't know if I did a really good job of answering that, but it's definitely in the thinking of how do we deal with all this transition and change that's going forward. And yet another value of being here today and talking with our members. What's on your mind? We really appreciate that. It's on our minds too. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bob, for your 15 years of service. Really appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Let's see. I don't know if you want me to wrap up, Bob, or yeah, we got. Oops. By the way, if I didn't mention, I'll say it again. this, Bob will cover it, I'm sorry, the history of the co-op is so important, and wow, if you can join us for our 85th annual meeting, that'd be awesome.
You just want the script read. Yeah, I want to thank the candidate for his willingness to serve on the member of the district for running on the seat. Your engagement is greatly appreciated. Before we adjourn today's meeting, I want to remind you our annual meeting is June 2nd at Life Church in Fergus Falls. I hope you can all make it. And I'd like to thank you again for attending your meeting today. It's appreciated. Thank you.